because there is a lot of these vehicles out there that's unlicensed. We need to get some way, once a year, or just, when we launch this thing, maybe in April when we have the other stuff out there, to contract with that guy, and if anybody wants to forfeit that vehicle, help them get rid of it, instead of make it another big nuisance on them. That's all I'm saying. I think we're passing an ordinance here that's going to really encumber a lot of people that already don't have titles to these vehicles. They don't have the ways or means to even store them. We don't have a licensed dismantler, do we, Bob? I don't think so. So there you go. I mean, we're going to store these things on some property with no licensed dismantler going on. So I don't know. I think we need to have a solution. I'm perfectly okay with this ordinance, but I think it's a problem, and it's a big problem. I think we don't want to create another problem by not having some outside solution to get rid of these cars. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what we do. I mean, the guy did tell me his boss does do this, whether it's liability because we don't have a title, I guess that'd be something that Attorney Manuoli would have to come up with. But I think if we offered to April, May, June, next week, I don't care, that we're going to enforce, this ordinance is going to pass within 20 days, that's going to be enforced. If you have a vehicle that you want to have off your property and destroyed, let's try to make it somewhere, somehow, that crusher can come in and haul them vehicles out of here. That's all I'm saying. I think we need to look at that as well. But other than the changes, that last bit was just, I think we need to find some solution to get rid of it once we enforce it.
I have one spelling correction too on page 4 in 4-1-7 in section B. We do not have a city manager. That needs to be changed to city clerk. In regards to Councilman Spear's comments, let's wait and see if we have a problem first. Some of these cars are just junk cars that got left from the family, and there are all over this town. The problem is not the cities, it's the landowners' problem, the property owners. We have nothing but junk in this town, and the people don't want to get rid of them. They need to do something about it. This is a start, an effective start. We've got descriptions now. In the past, oh no, I'm remodeling this, it's a classic car. I'm remodeling this is this and this. Now we've got descriptions allowed by NRS. So let's see if there's going to be a problem. And then if it's a problem, then we said, then look for a solution then. Let's don't try to solve something that might not even be a problem.
I agree with that too.
I would agree with your thoughts as well, but I just have a question about, so if we send these certified letters about the time frame, we send these certified letters and they're never picked up, or they're returned to us, or, you know, whatever the case may be, what's our recourse then?
Sheriff's office.
Yeah, we just did that down there on, was it Nevada Avenue, where we got that back and we still followed through, so we have a recourse after the fact.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. But I would agree with your changes on the time frame. That works.
What's the pleasure of the council on the side of that?
Go ahead. I'll make the motion to approve that with the spelling corrections and the comment that Councilman Spear made to do some form of certified receipt at the door that we have law enforcement issue, go to the door and hand it to them, which is already in there.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Item 3, Councilman Allred, discussion for possible action, approval of second reading of Ordinance 739, Bill 2021-02, amending Chapter 2 of Title 4 entitled Public Health and Safety, Garbage and Refuse, Abatement of Unsafe Buildings, Filth, Rubbish of the City Code of the City of Ely, specifically changing the timeframes outlined in Section 14.
Here we go again. Under 4-2-14 or B, excuse me. Then we got the date of mailing, and I'd like to have that one also changed to the receipt of that. The 10 calendar days from the date of mailing should be the receipt of receiving that mail. And then on the next one it says 5 calendar days of the date of the receipt of the notice. I think we need to make sure that they have got the notice. And those are the only 2 things I have on that. In other words, I think these are really well done. I think we need to make sure we have that opportunity again to have the receipt of the notice.
Can you entertain a motion on this?
I'd move to approve with those corrections.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Ed, thank you.
Second, further discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Item 4, Councilman Allworth, discussion for possible action, approval of second reading of ordinance 740, Bill 2021-03, amending Chapter 3 of Title 4 entitled Public Health and Safety, Weeds, Debris, and Other Offensive Matter of the City Code of the City of Ely, specifically changing the timeframes outlined in Section 3.
This I'm going to move to approve, Jim, because it says what I want to say on the last one there. I want to make a note of that. It says 10-day calendar notice if served by certified mail, return receipt. So, yeah, I move to approve this item.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Another comment. See, as we went along with this, we improved it. But one important item on this one here is item 4-3-2, the notice to remove. It has to be published in the newspaper during the first week of April. That is imperative. Then we start this whole process again after the 20 days, but that is very important right there.
And just for the record, that has been happening.
Yes.
With what we
It
got
has, correct.
now, we have been doing that, so.
I'll second Ed. Did you make a motion? I'll second Ed's motion.
Motion by Councilman Spears, second by Councilman Allworth. Further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. Let's see, that puts us back on item 5 under the business. Council members, city clerkly discussion for possible action, direction to city attorney to contact White Pine County District Attorney regarding a cooperative agreement for election services between White Pine County and the City of Ely for later consideration by the Ely City Council and White Pine County Commission. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make the motion to approve that. It's a heck of a deal.
It is. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Allworth, second by Councilman Spear.
Just like to
Councilwoman Beecher
disclose
has a disclosure.
that I have a relationship in a private capacity with the district attorney, and I don't feel like that relationship should preclude me from voting on this particular matter, but I would like to disclose that.
Okay. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, unanimous. Item 6, council members, city clerkly discussion for possible action acceptance of WHYNT maintenance proposal for the City of Ely's website for $119 per month. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
When we approved her contract in the beginning, I think this was a part of it, right? She had,
Correct, she's fulfilled that obligation. She's designed the website, and in fact, she's still finishing up some fillable forms for us. We've got about 10 forms that she's still doing under the previous amount she was paid.
I would move to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion or questions on this? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. Item 7, City Attorney Manueli, discussion for possible action, approval of Maupin, Cox and LaVoy conflict waiver regarding Maupin, Cox and LaVoy representation of Greenberg, Farag LLP, Jason K. Hicks Esquire, and Christopher R. Millenberg Esquire in Holiday Pine LLC, DBA Holiday Inn Express and Suites, a limited liability company versus Robert Van Camp et al., pending in the 7th Judicial Court of the State of Nevada, case number CB-2012127.
This waiver is being requested by Maupin, Cox, and LaGoy. They currently represent us on the railroad litigation, and because they currently represent us, they are seeking a waiver out of an abundance of caution. So they were approached by these individuals in the Holiday Inn Express lawsuit, Since we are named in that as well, we're potentially co-defendants of the client that they'd like to represent. I don't foresee any conflicts with that. This waiver does indicate that if there are real conflicts that exist, they will bring that to our attention, so we can discuss if a waiver of the real conflict will be appropriate. But these are pretty standard in accordance with the rules of ethics to ensure that a party that could have a potential conflict is aware that there could be that conflict. If we did not want to sign this, Maupin, Cox, and LaGoy may not be able to represent those individuals that hired them in this Holiday Inn lawsuit. If we did sign the waiver, we're indicating that we don't believe there is a conflict currently and that they would approach us with any potential or realized conflicts in accordance with Rule 1.7. But I would advise that we can sign this waiver. They are two different legal actions. We are named in this Holiday Inn action, but we are represented not by Maupin, Cox, and LaGoy, but by Polepact attorneys. They will represent us in defending this lawsuit, and so other individuals that are co-defendants need representation.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion from Councilman Allworth. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Carson. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item 9, public comment. Please state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Go ahead, George. Well, up to you, buddy.
Mr. Mayor, I want to go back to your ordinance 738 that you folks passed today. Again, I'm angry at your staff, and I'm angry at the city council for promoting more of this stuff. I want you to look at 300 block of Stevens, what they've done. They had carpetbaggers move in. It's a crying shame. And yet you create more rules and regulations. Try enforcing the laws that you have now. What are you paying these people for anyway? You're neglecting your job, Mayor. Read NRS 266. You're far from complying there. And now more regulations. Baloney. Mayor, did you, has the city contacted Landowner about moving some of the power poles on the Murray Street project that you're supposed to be starting very shortly? Again, ADA is not being adhered to. Again, Mayor, I'm requesting a copy of the final approved city personnel manual that was approved at a previous council meeting. I don't know how many times I got asked for that, but I want it. Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman Beecher, Councilman Allworth have yet to address the rumor that tens of thousands of dollars have been embezzled from the railroad. It's either yes or no. This concerns the rest of the council. And if there's any federal monies involved, you folks have a problem. In particular, if you folks are dealing with federal monies on another level, you need to get out. You're going after the taxpayer, the people you represent. A double standard, not good enough. Mr. Mayor, I've yet to hear anything in regards to the 111 million or more gallons that have been used by the golf course, if they've been paid for. You're coming after me for 490 High Street. I paid in full, and yet you still have me paying $1,300 I pay every month. You've got to clean up your act, Mayor. Don't create more rules and regulations. Mr. Mayor, I have a variety of notices that I've given to different boards over the years. I'm going to give them to you, and I want an answer. I want it in writing, and then we'll go from there. I want to remind you, Mr. Mayor, that NRS 281.481 forbids public employees or officials from having preference in buying or selling the public property. I've looked, it's been a couple of years or more now, where's that 490 linear feet of 16-inch steel pipe?